To the next session, I would like to request Shri NSN Murty ji to kindly come and join us on the stage as the moderator of the panel discussion, Digital Transformation of States for Effective Governance through Emerging Technologies. Can we have a big round of applause for him? Followed by our dignitaries, I would like to call Shri Manoj Kumar Mishra ji, Principal Secretary, Electronics and IT Department and Chairman, OCAC Government of Odisha, to kindly come and join us on the dais. Next, I would like to call Dr. Adapa Karthik ji, IAS, Special Secretary, Department of Health and Family Welfare, Government of Punjab. Can we have a big round of applause for him? Next, I would like to call Shri Abhijit Agrawal ji, IAS, Managing Director, MP State Electronics Development Corporation, Department of Science and Technology, Government of Madhya Pradesh. Can we have a big round of applause for him? Moving on. Next, I would like to call Shri Sanjay Kumar Das ji, Additional Secretary and MD, WEBEL, Department of IT and Electronics, Government of West Bengal, with a big round of applause. Next, I would like to call Shri Vidyasagar Reddy ji, IT Advisor to Honorable Chief Minister, Government of Andhra Pradesh. Can we have a big round of applause for him? And I would like to welcome him on the stage. Moving on, next I would like to call Shri Suneel Wattal ji, Joint Chief Technology Officer, Department of IT, Electronics and Communications, Government of Haryana. Can we have a big round of applause for him as well? Requesting Shri Rohit Chaudhari ji, Client Architect Manager, PS and CME, HP, India, to kindly come and join us on the dais with a big round of applause. Last but not the least, I would like to request Shri 𝐃𝐢𝐠𝐢𝐭𝐚𝐥 ji, Senior Zonal Manager, ESRI India, with a big round of applause. Can we have a big round of applause for all our dignitaries? Handing it over to our moderator, Shri NSN Murty ji. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so two people have actually ditched me. So my colleague and friend Amit Singh, yesterday he said he's the person who will finish the panel fast and he's the person with 30 minutes of delay. Okay, so we have to actually cut short our 60 minutes, 65 minutes panel to almost like 30 minutes, whichever we believe. So that's how, otherwise we'll be eating into your eating time actually. So the second is, the time is already up. It's already 2 o'clock. We were supposed to finish at 2. It's already 2:10, I think. So if with all your permission, what I'm going to do is I've sent the questions, but I would like to actually a little bit of a change. Okay. And I'll have a quick one question and then see if there is anything from the audience. And if audience have any of the questions in between, please ask. We will take that because till now we have not taken any questions from the audience. That's what we'll do. So very quickly, Manoj sir, will come. And I want to actually change the question to the one you made a statement around space tech during your do you want to actually elaborate, because emerging technologies coupled with space is now becoming a something which is of a nation-wide importance and the focus also. So is there something which Odisha is, I think, doing the first of its stuff? So do you actually would like to share anything around that?
I'm not sure I talked about space tech at all. Yet, I'll take the question. First and foremost, apologies. This is not the time to do a discussion. I'm not sure they would be right not to listen to us at 2 o'clock. I'm not prepared to even speak, but then we'll have to honor so many guests coming in. So I'll speak the least, being the host state. All that I can say about space and ocean research is that the areas of unknown will give us solutions which we do not know about the problems. So we have explored the earth far more, and not only explored, we have exploited the earth. But there are far more things to explore now. So what Chandrayaan did for us, what the mission to observe sun is going around, these are going to give us new technology, new science, new areas where possibly our biggest of the problems which we have, which is unresolved, unsolvable at this point of time, could become an area where we can think in terms of solutions. So is like exactly like what the speaker before our panel told about, that when you are talking about cyber security, you cannot sell it because it's like insurance. If something doesn't go wrong, who is going to pay money? So similarly, if you are talking about research, especially in the cutting edge space or ocean, we do not know what solutions will come, but when they come, it's like life-saving. So I think that's the area where everybody should be tuned into, and a lot of things India is doing. We would be happy to do it. There's a small little role that Odisha played in the Chandrayaan. A few of the designs took place here in this Bhubaneswar IMMT. So we are very proud of that fact. So I think that's a research area where everybody should be interested.
Okay. Thank you. Karthik, and I know you have done kind of a tremendous amount of work on the healthcare tech integrated. Is there anything beyond that you already started working? Or I think the audience doesn't know about the cancer work you have done around there. You want to talk about that, or anything else also you have added to that?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I'll be brief as well. I'll talk about two things. One, that you've asked about the artificial intelligence and machine learning work that we're doing in Punjab in terms of cancer screening. That's widely known now around the world, around the country. Essentially in Punjab, what we do is we do a breast thermography. So instead of subjecting women to radiation, what we do is we now have sensors that basically take a heat map of the breast, and then this heat map is now augmented by deep learning algorithms and converts it into a BI-RAD score. So essentially mammogram is a technology that is more used in the West. It's a gold standard in the West, but what it does is it exposes women to radiation. Two, we assume that women have to derobe themselves before a technician. Whereas with breast thermography, what happens is a technician is not needed. The sensor can be placed before. So women have been loving it in Punjab. Since we last spoke, Murty, we now have about 15,000 women who have volunteered to participate in the screening process. Apart from that, I just want to talk about two new initiatives that we're doing in Punjab. This is in terms of emerging technologies, interesting use cases. One use case that we're working on is now that there are a large number of medical colleges around the country that are coming in. But the problem with medical colleges that we have now is we don't have trainers. So what is going to happen is a large number of medical students don't have experts who can train them. Now we can therefore get a lot of ways by which we can learn from the West. Now United States also had a similar problem where there were more medical colleges and less trainers. And the way the United States solved this problem was by inventing something called simulation models. So what it basically means is, when as a physician, I'm a medical doctor myself, so when I do a specific process or a procedure, you break that skill into a large number of sub-skills. And then you train this trainer first on a high-fidelity mannequin. So in a simulated environment, you take the skill, break it into sub-skills, and then on the high-fidelity mannequin, you do the procedure. And then the simulation can tell you how many mistakes you've done in different sub-skills. So before you actually use the skill on human beings, you actually ensure that the trainer goes through the simulation models, and then on a high-fidelity mannequin, you learn the sub-skills as well. So we are, now the simulation models and these high-fidelity mannequins are extremely expensive in the US. Now I'm a faculty at Yale and at UNC, so I teach there. So I know how expensive those are. We also design and develop those technologies there. What we're essentially trying to do in Punjab and in collaboration with the government of UP is actually build this low-cost, high-fidelity mannequins and simulation models for medical colleges in India. We're trying to build that in collaboration with IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, and IIT Rohit. So this is a state-funded innovation through the Innovation Hub. We're building that. The other one is actually using AR and VR. Now, essentially, the other part is to be very brief. Now, patients, when they come to a big hospital, like say PGI, or for that matter, AIIMS, what happens to them, it's extremely overwhelming. You know, go to a large hospital, you don't know where to go. So you essentially have to ask people and say, which corner do I go, which lane do I need to go. So what we're trying to do is, of course, this is slightly more, we also have to be very careful about our patients. So what we're doing is we're trying to use AR tools so that what it does is, it is of course augmented by voice. So there'll be a voice that will help you guide, first know what your location is, and then when you write where you need to go, it augments the present reality and uses AR to help you navigate the place that you want to go within the hospital. Now, there are a lot of initial models that we've built. We are trying to do that both for AIIMS and PGI. This is, of course, funded both from my lab in the US as well as some initial funding that we got from ICMR. So these are two small use cases that I thought I'll share with you. Thank you.
Brilliant stuff. I think there's one more model which has come recently. Bangalore International Airport has prepared an augmented reality or what you call a metaverse of their airport, so that the staff members, they get trained first on the metaverse and then they go and do the work in the airport. So I think technology is actually helping a lot in the training and skilling. Yeah. Topin, I'm coming to you. GIS has become extremely important. And where do you see the invent or evaluation of GIS into what you call an emerging tech integration? So because GIS, we call it as a base infrastructure for India. How do you actually compare that with the emerging tech, and where are you playing there?
Yeah, I think of late, last 50 years, GIS has been bit of working in a silo. It was not associated with the IT industry as per se. But if you see the kind of amount is saving via the PM Gati Shakti initiative, which is, I think, eye-opener to every government sector. The foundational DNA technology being the GIS, and how much 1,000 crore government is saving. I think the GIS, it is because how it's evolved over the years, how the cloud has now got into the GIS, how the IoT and edge computing getting into the GIS, and the GIS to a certain extent becoming a dynamic GIS, so that it actually reflects what is actually happening on the ground. I will take 1 minute time to talk about one of the couple of live applications touching on the space sector and the GIS into that. Every day around 10 to 11, every forest guard receive an SMS for a forest fire alerts. And in Odisha, around 2,500 forest guards are there, and the average is around 3,000 across India. Now, this is being picked up every day from a satellite which passes around us, which picks up the hit, and this hit is automatically transferred into locational intelligence and sent this thing as a simple SMS to the forest guard. We live in urban society and we don't understand and we don't value the forest fire, but for the tribal is very much important, for the wildlife is very much important. Now, if that SMS doesn't receive to the forest guard, he will not be able to check it. He is not able to action and then douse the fire. Now, GIS was always there. This forest fire incident management system is a pretty old system. It's a 20 years old system. It was never recognized, never understood the potential of it. But now, of lately, last 3-4 years, people are able to understand how it is saving the not only human life, but also wild animal life. So sometimes it is a dichotomy that GIS is used as a background IT tech. It is coming more into forefront because of this edge computing and cloud computing coming and integrating with the GIS, and that's I think way forward for us. I think the time is exciting for us. We ESRI, we're into the GIS for the last 60 years as the largest GIS solution company globally. But the way this GIS and IT branch is now merging with each other, I think that's an exciting time ahead.
Perfect. Thank you. That's
for the people, for the government, as well as this UDIN is also creating a lot of money, and the ROW portal, the Anumati, which is also based on AI that we have created, it is also generating revenue. So these are all some of the efforts that we have been doing in West Bengal from WEBEL.
Thank you, Sanjay. That's really appreciative. Suneel, I'm just coming to you. Haryana has done a lot of work. I stayed in Gurgaon for a long time and enjoyed the PPP project also. So anything you would like to emphasize on any important project that you're undertaking right now?
Okay. As you rightly said, Haryana has done a lot of work in the past few years. Last 4 years, there's been there's a long list. But I'll just confine myself to just one or two. Starting with, there's a huge focus on data analytics, and there's a huge focus on data analytics and BI tools. We have recently come out with, there's a project going on for our top executive dashboard, where the head of the state, just at the click of a button, he looks at a single dashboard which cuts across almost about 40 departments. And there's a huge amount of visualization being used in that with drill down features. And the metrics are there are very strange metrics that we look at. For example, and it gives an insight. For example, when we're talking about schools, we look at ratios like what is the teacher-student ratio and how is it spread across geographies. So and we saw a big anomaly in the rural versus urban in a teacher-student ratio. So that leads to corrective measures. So a lot of things are happening in those directions. Again, when we talk about data analytics, there's also something called proactive governance that we're looking at, where rather than a citizen asking for benefits, the government in advance, they will pick up the benefits and push it down to you. For example, if somebody is eligible for a pension after he crosses a certain age, rather than him applying for it, the government comes to his doorstep and says, hey, this September you are reaching this age and we are starting your benefit. And there's a lot of pre-filled information comes out. As you rightly said, pre-filled information. So what happens is tomorrow if I'm applying for a particular service, I just put in my number and a lot of information gets pre-filled, doesn't need validation because it's already validated once. So the ease of application is there. It makes my life much simpler. There are also certain features. One I would want to mention here is that we recently started for recruitment. There's a big focus on government recruitments where we work on something called a one-time registration. A candidate registers one time with the Public Service Commission or the State Services Commission and then can apply for multiple jobs as and when these come up. We used face recognition for examination, for admit cards. So there's an admit card. As a candidate, I download an admit card. And when I actually go there is a face recognition device which checks my face and matches it with what is stored in the admit card. And we started it as a prototype and that's been very, very hit. So a lot of stuff going on, but I think there is more to do. As we progress, while we are doing a lot of things, we find out that there are much better, more and more things to do.
Excellent, excellent. So Rohit, you're at the end and we have covered GIS, we have covered AI, automation, RPA, cyber, data analytics, deep research, everything. So cloud is left.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so that's where if you look at as the governments and enterprises across the world is transforming, or we call it a digital transformation, right? So that's where even HP as a company, we are also transforming ourselves, and what we see is edge to cloud is the way to go, and that's where we see our customers, our governments, or enterprises going on, and that's where our major work from last 4 and 5 years are going on, right? So and all the speakers talk about if you look at one common thing, the data generation point is going to be at the edge at the end of the day, right? So that's where we see almost about 80% of data going to be generated at the edge, and then you need to manage that data, you need to keep that data securely and have the access of that data to the person who really have the authority to access that data. So that's where HP started the platform called GreenLake, everything as a service platform, which helps you to manage your data or cloud from edge to the cloud, right? With a capability to have your data within on-prem without having any kind of public cloud locking. Also, managing your own compliance within your own organization or within your own country or state, wherever you are, right? So what essentially GreenLake provides you, it's basically a multi-cloud model which allows you to manage your edge, allows you to manage your cloud, allows you to manage your data center, allows you to manage your data itself from a single console. And since data remains within your data center and it remains within your control, so there is no kind of vendor locking on top of your data. So that's where our work is majorly going on. And at the core of GreenLake is security. It's all based on the zero trust data model. That means everything right from the hardware to the software at the endpoint, which is the data, is going to be completely secure. So that's where we have been working from last 4 or 5 years, and obviously in India with the multiple government departments as well.
Thank you, Rohit. So we've done 24 minutes, the full panel. Amit, point to be noted. Yeah. So now the next 6 minutes, either you ask a question or we will give 6 minutes, 36 minutes back to you. Okay, Rajat.
It's a shame if I'm not.
Yes.
So it's not a question. I would like to just tell everyone about
Rajat, only question. Only question. Only question.
You already have spoken before.
Yes.
No time for lecturing.
Only question. Yes, the madam there.
I really like the way Dr. Adapa spoke about the screening technology for breast cancer. It's amazing. In fact, we are bringing out 2 cancer vans here in the state. So we want to know whether this can be also be put up in those mobile van and done it, whether beneficiaries are very rural women. So this aspect would you like to highlight?
Thank you. That's a great question. So essentially, this is a tool that has come from a startup that's based in Bangalore called Niramai. The best part about this tool is it's portable. 2, you can actually run it as camps. 3, you need very little training for the technician. So all that they need to do is you need a stable surface so that you can place the sensor, and you basically can do it with a cloth all around. The technician actually sits outside the room or this artificial room that you create, and the patient, the only thing that is important is that temperatures have to be lower, because this is a thermal scanner. So if you can have some kind of a cool air for the women as well, because what is going to happen is if women sweat, because obviously like human beings, we all sweat when it is hot. So all that you need is a cool blower that can cool off the temperature of the skin, and the machine doesn't get heated because of excess heat. If you can manage that, yes, the sensor will work really well. It will work in camps. We've essentially been in Punjab. What we've done is we've done only it in camps. So we've been taking it all around the state. We just have 2 equipment that we've been using because this has come from a research funding under NHM. So I'm happy to even share the MOU. What we also do is, as a follow-up, once the women are detected to have an abnormal report, because there's only a screening tool. So what we have is we have a patient navigator who gets hold of that report, and of course they don't get any identifier other than just the number of the patient. They call the patient and set up an appointment in a tertiary cancer center where the actual diagnosis happens. And then we have something called a Mukhyamantri Cancer Rahat Kosh, where once this diagnosis is confirmed, they also get free treatment up to 3 lakh rupees. So this was an earlier scheme. So the scheme of diagnosis and confirmation existed for the last decade or so in Punjab. Now what we've done is we've integrated all of that. So we have Roche, who's helping us with the navigators and also helping us with the diagnosis and treatment. And now Niramai's tool is used as a camp basis to screen the entire women of the state. Now the best part is it's not just rural women who are interested. Now all the staff that are posted in Secretariat, all the healthcare workers, all doctors who are working with us, everybody wants it now. So the reason is that the good word about this tool is being spread across the state. So now what is happening is we now have Power Grid, which is a government PSU, which is buying 40 equipments for the entire state. Now Uttarakhand has taken it over. We are actually in conversations with Odisha as well to bring it to Odisha. Jharkhand is already using it. Assam is using it. Now we are actually requesting NHM to actually include this in the PIP. We're also that all states can use it. We're also working with 𝐂𝐤𝐧𝐬𝐿 so that it gets integrated in 𝐂𝐤𝐬𝐿. So there's a lot of work that's happening on that direction. But that's a great question.
Thank you so much. It's really nice because women are especially uncomfortable, and I want, if this is really this good, it should be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the percentage of false positive?
There is a lot of science on where we've compared. See, the biggest issue is that I'm okay with having more cases to be false positives. What I don't want is false negatives. Okay, so yeah.
I'll also post a question. But a statement before the...
No. So only you have 15 seconds, Rajat. We have 2 minutes left.
10 seconds.
Yes.
So I was in my immediate past career, I was selling phones. So I came to Mishra. goes everything to what we do. My respects, is it bluntly say, if you remember that, sir, and so that shows, we should have confidence on our progress, because at times I feel we take to the social media and we badmouth. Please don't do that, because they are equipped and they know what is good for their state and organization. Because
Rajat, the question, please.
Now the question is, sir, it comes to you, Sanjay da. So, Sanjay sir, personally, he loves one thing about cybersecurity, which is data anonymization. Right. So, my question to you, sir, is, had Aadhaar and AIMS done it, do you think that would have prevented the huge breach that we had, where all our personal data was kind of leaked?
Just one thing, actually, wherever we keep the data, it is called data lake. So when we keep the data, we dump it, and as Dr. Pant in the morning said, DPDP Act. So the basis of this act is consent-based data sharing. So anonymization or anonymizer is a tool, is a strainer on top of this data lake. So whosoever, even a ransomware, attacker, wants to access data, it should be a consent-based straining of that from the data lake. So it would not have happened had there been any anonymizer tool.
Thank you. I thank all my co-panelists. I'm not asking a second question. Please feel free to touch base with them during the lunch. So we are going to conclude it exactly in 31 minutes. Thank you so much for the time. And Fahim, we are returning back 29 minutes.
Thank you so much, sir, for this panel discussion. Now I would like to request Shri Rajat Ganguly ji to kindly come and join us on the dais to felicitate our dignitaries. Can we have a big round of applause for all our dignitaries? Thank you so much. I would like to request Rajat ji to kindly felicitate Shri Manoj Kumar Mishra ji. Can we have a big round of applause when our dignitaries are getting felicitated? Just 2-3 more minutes and then we'll be good to go for the lunch as well. Thank you so much, sir, for coming and joining us for this amazing panel discussion session. Thank you. Can we have a round of applause again? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now, I would like to request all our dignitaries to kindly come forward for a group photo. And I'd like to request Shri Rajat Ganguly ji to kindly stay back and join them for the group picture.